Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, as it'll be relaxing as per usual. How's Gacha Talk going? There's not too much going on, I suppose. Like, I don't know why I said Gacha Talk. I meant general talk first, but Gacha is always a conversation which happens first. Star Rail, I mean, there's a new patch. Am I going to pull for Robin? I think I probably am. I'm not as enthused about it, to be honest. But hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:09 PM on Wednesday, August 26, 2026. Rowan's birthday. Happy birthday, Rowan. But mainly because she's good with Aglaya, and you know, I would take any opportunity, I think, for any crisis to pull a character who is good for a crisis there. Mind you, I was also just being like, well, why would I do that one? Instead, I could just pull for an Aglaya constellation, I suppose, or Eidolon, I suppose. But apparently Robin is like very, very strong. So you know, I'm considering it. I'm sort of going back and forth on it. You know, I'm in an era that I'm not so interested in playing for these Hoyo characters anymore. You know, like the Crisis Zers were just like, they were so good that I'm like, any new character which comes out, I'm just like, eh. You're the Ganondorf one. I can't remember your name. Let me think. Tusk or something? Boris. Completely wrong. So I mean, I pulled for Mortonax and I pulled for Ashfield because they're kind of cool, but I also don't use them much. Like every single time Endgame comes around, I'm just like, well, how many Crisis Airs? Oh, this is Gala. Can I fit into my teams? Essentially. But I don't know. I'll probably pull for Summer Robin. And Aventurine is a bit more iffy, depending on what Pearl looks like, I suppose. Kit-wise. Nothing happening in Genshin, nothing happening in ZZZ. Yeah, even in Genshin, I'm just like, I don't even know who I'm going to pull next. I might pull with Vesna, maybe because she looks quite fun. Vodunitsnya. Apparently her kit is really weird, so I'm not sure if I'll pull for her necessarily. ZZZ, I forgot her name, but the upcoming new class, I'm just like, okay, you know, she looks kind of cool. Stunner, I don't care too much about. Wuwa is anything is the one which is hitting right spot, so I'm just like, damn, yeah, every one of these characters are really cool. Uma Musume, Aston Machan is out. Aston Machan. Who I will get. And then I'll have like when I can finally run front runners and sprints properly. I don't know, I find myself in a weird place at front runners because I'm just like, oh yeah, I want to play fronts, but I don't want to play a sacrificial runaway, but I also want to run Majuro Palmer as much as possible. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide what I'm doing on next game. I think I'm doing two fronts. I don't think I can get away with doing Majuro Palmer runaway, unfortunately, on the next one. Like, maybe, but like the stamina requirements are so high, I think, for a runaway. I haven't actually checked him. Hold on, let's see. How much do you need? Because I think it must be something like 1,000, right? Majuro Palmer. Runaway. I wanna run away. I have finally made a Majuro Palmer. Oh, what is the next one? And a Toast and Jordan with Mile S. It took forever. I'm so sad about Toast and Jordan run because the Toast and Jordan run was so good, and then literally none of the gold abilities procced. So I didn't get Professor Curvature. I didn't get what's it called on the attack or whatever the gold version's called. I didn't get Mile Maven. I've got all the white versions of these skills, but not the gold version of the skills because they didn't go to completion. I have no idea what happened. And I was so sad, so I kept trying to do more runs, but it turns out that my last run is still better than my others, even with... I mean, white skills, I guess, are not that bad, is probably why, but... Okay, let's see. Is 900 stamina, is that enough? 900, 600, probably. Let's say about 1,000... I don't know, 1,500 speed? That seems reasonable. Well, 900 is enough to survive. That doesn't seem right. 600? Is that enough? No, 600 is not nearly enough. So 800? 800 is about the borderline. So it'd be 800 plus a stam recovery. That's interesting. That might be doable actually with stam card. But it also might be better if I just do Majuro Palmer, say in Skyfront, and then... Oh, but then I can't use Toast and Jordan. You see the trouble? Anyway, not my point. So that's a gacha talk. I'm not here to talk about gacha much more. I'm happy I got those My Less Runs. We'll just see how it goes. I don't really care if I win most next Champions Meet or not. I hope I do get to the finals. What I was going to talk about today was I was going to talk about the various board games that we bought and tried and played while at the board game con. Because that's kind of like the fun of it, the board game con. Like, I like getting accessories and stuff. So I like getting earrings. I've got a lot of earrings, necklaces. I've got some sort of dice-like thing. There's a store which is there every single time, called like Dice Goblin or whatever. And they always have some sort of like potluck thing, which we always do, just to get some more dice. I actually got some quite cute ones. They're like with sort of like purple lilac, with like white trim colours. And then I got like a sorted bag. I also got a badge, which I could choose whichever pin badge I wanted. And I chose a DM looking one with a dragon saying, "How do you want to do this?" I don't know what I'm going to do with pins and badges. I'm not a pin or badge sort of person, so I don't really know where to put them, mind you. But I have them. But we played a variety of different games, and I think they're all pretty cool, to be honest. Oh, I didn't realise they got their version signed. But we played a new game called Forest Folk, which is kind of cool. It was one beautiful artwork, like it was very sort of like atmospheric, lineless art style of like Child of Light, maybe? Is that what that game's called? Child of Light? That's a vibe it gave me. Kind of. Not really what I was going for, but it's kind of similar. That was an interesting one. It was kind of like a tile placing game where you have like a hand of tiles, which you put down into like a shared map, and then you have your own personal forest, which you also put down, and everyone has like, each of the tiles has like different symbols in each of the corners and different paths, and then like everyone has a different sort of goal of like trying to get certain corners or certain paths to line up, and then each of the cards has different abilities essentially. I lost that one horribly, I would say. Like I will say, I don't think I played too badly. I do think the card draw was not in my favour, and unfortunately some of the moves which were done to, for other people to help themselves really screwed me over. But such is the way. Could I play better? Probably. But it was a very interesting game. And then like we even like the person who developed them, like the two who developed them were there, and we spoke to them about it, and they said it was an expansion, and I was just like, oh, I really hope that one of the expansion moves is that you can actually rotate tiles, and it turns out that is one of them things that you can rotate tiles, because I was like, that seems like such a great opportunity. But that was a pretty cool game. I'm not gonna lie, it seems like a very sort of straightforward, simple game. I like the artwork most. It's something which seems like it would be good to like bring on the road because it's very simple to play or something. We also bought a load of other games. My friends also bought Flip 7, and we played Flip 7. I have played Flip 7 before. If you don't know what Flip 7 is, it's basically the huge gamble sort of game. Yeah, it's basically slots, is what it is. It's so casual, it's so easy to do. The hardest thing about Flip 7 is shuffling the deck, to be honest, because the deck is massive. There's like, I don't know, like I would guess 100 something cards in it. No, probably more than 100. It's probably, wait, hold on. How many items? 12 days of Christmas. No, it's not going to be the same as how many items. It's like the 12th triangle number, I guess. Or 13th, right? No, 12th triangle number. 12th triangle number plus like 15 on top of that. 78. Oh, so it is about 100. Okay, so yeah, probably my guess wasn't too far off. It's basically slots, where basically you're playing blackjack. You're drawing cards, and you bust if you ever draw two of the same card. And there are more copies of numbers, of higher numbers. So there are 12 copies of 12 in the deck, 11 copies of 11, all the way down to 1 copy of 1. And the amount of points you're left with at the end of the round is how many points you get, and you can sort of call it early at any opportunity. At any point. So we played that. I think I got like no points because I went for going for 7 every single time. I don't think I ever got 7. The only time I got points was when I got frozen, I think. Which is very funny. Some of my friends perhaps played a bit more strategically of actually calling it early, but I'm like, that's not what I play Flip 7 for. I play Flip 7 to get the 7, and to be fair, one of them did get the 7, so there you go. That's just how it goes sometimes. We also played a game called Casting Shadows. Now this was an interesting one. I think we didn't get the best representation of a game, to be honest, because it ended very quickly. Oh, not like super quickly, but it was a very sort of random ending. But basically it's sort of like a last man standing like arena battler. You're all playing as one of 4 different, or one of many different, because I think you can play up to like, what, 8 people or something, token creatures. And it has an interesting mechanic where basically you start off as like the small form, and then you can transform into a big form, which unlocks a different type of ability. And like your resources are like a dice roll, and then you have a certain amount of actions, and when you do those actions you basically just try and kill each other by picking up spells and using resources to actually cast these spells. So I played the dragon character because I was like, this dragon looks kind of cool. I like dragons, why not? And I remember looking at my character, and their transformation was basically, their transformation is do big damage from basically anywhere, all on the tile. And I was like, okay, this seems like a really aggressive character, so probably my goal is, and this is my goal, is transform as soon as possible, accumulate the mana as soon as possible, then explode someone. And I was going into it being like, okay, I'm probably not going to win if I do this strategy, because as soon as I transform, that's going to be a huge target on my back. Obviously, my friends are going to be like, well, Dear Darling is the biggest threat right now, so let's try and kill her. And that did kind of happen, to be honest. Well, I transformed on literally the first turn of the game, because I got lucky with my rolls. I had 2 of the things, and then I walked over to a spell, picked up that spell card, used it, and then banked all 3, then transformed at the end of the turn. Because I wanted to start, you had to basically accumulate resources to use your ultimate ability, so I wanted to do that as soon as possible. I picked up one ability, and this is where I saw a plan sort of coming together, because it was an ability which targeted everything on a hex, and so does the ultimate ability. So I was like, if I get really lucky and multiple people stand on one hex, I might be able to nuke them. So I had a combo which did 10 damage very quickly. And then I almost died because I got, attacked quite a lot, unsurprisingly. But I also like wasn't really doing any damage to anyone, so it was sort of like a not that big a deal. I was okay with, I was basically trying to sort of like play a heal, And yeah, my friends, they sort of played, and then as the turn came when I got my ultimate, I was basically a ticking time bomb, where it was sort of like as I basically said to one of my friends, where I have a power to basically kill any one of these people, and like any one of you, just like that. And I was like, probably if you attack me, I'm gonna kill you, and that sort of thing, to be fair. So I was just like, it's kind of basically you're playing like a game of risk, like, do you kill me or do you hope I basically kill someone else? And and they probably they took a risk, and also some of it was also like, well, why bother doing anything for that? She's going to explode someone, and then she'll probably die or something. But as the case, how it lined up is I managed to pick a spell which allowed me to move someone, and then 2 of them ended on the same tile, and then I was like, okay, I was on the other person's tile, I moved them to the same tile, and then I used my ultimate ability, my other thing, and I nuked for 10 damage, which insta-killed 2 of them, and then one of them was brought to very low HP. And yeah, I ended up winning from that, which was very fortunate, I would say. Was it like that strategic? I think it was a very cool game. I would say the artwork in the game, fantastic. Wow, beautiful artwork. There are some things I think in retrospect where I'm just like, I would have liked to see this in the game. But one thing I find it crazy that all the tiles have a different ability. But if you start your turn there, if you move into it, if you land on it, etc, etc. But none of the tiles have any indication on the tile itself what they do. I'm like, I feel like it should at least have a symbol for like, oh, this is an energy tile, or oh, this is like a persistent effect tile, or something like that. I find it's crazy. It doesn't at all. Like, it feels like it quite naturally could just have some text on, but maybe it ruins the aesthetic of the game. Instead, they give you a single leaflet, and then you have to like look at the leaflet to see what each one does. The board itself is actually surprisingly small. Like, it feels almost a bit weird because it's only like a 6-7 hex grid. And most abilities have like a range of 1, so it's kind of like you can hit anyone from almost anywhere, like at any point. I guess maybe it's sort of a game where you're expecting to play with like 6 or 8 people, so you have more of a board space or something to work with. But I was like, that's kind of interesting, I think. But I think it was kind of cool. I do think maybe people are very squishy, or maybe the spells are too high damage, because you only have 18 HP, and there's only 1 class who can heal, and only 1 tile which can heal. The heal is very slow, and the amount of ways there is to sort of move people in and out of spaces, it's pretty difficult to actually heal. So yeah, like everything does really, really high damage, which I guess is kind of a point. Maybe it's meant to be like very quick turnaround and explosive, which is also probably why you can't devolve again from your big form. I was kind of surprised there wasn't a thing where like if you evolve into your big form and then you get killed, you get put back into your little form again or something. But yeah, I don't know. Again, we only played one game of it, so it's not really much for me to say about it, except for like these were just some of my observations. I think definitely the big one, it should just probably say on the tile somewhere what the tile does. It's kind of crazy it doesn't, I think, but yeah, that's about that. I don't know. I thought it was quite fun. And I will say the rules explanations were so convoluted compared to how simple the actual game was, because they had to like, I guess, write out all these different exceptions and something like that. We also played a logical deduction game called A Carnival Did It. I bought it because I saw it and I was like, whoa, Nick Wilde. And when I looked at it, I was like, okay, this seems like kind of cool. It was described as a cooperative investigation game with lots of different like scenarios, and I was like, that seems kind of fun. I would basically describe it as it's the equivalent of like a Sudoku book, or like a logic puzzle book or something. Like very easily, you could, instead of having this game, you could just have a book with 2,000 pages on with each of these logic puzzles on. Would that be as fun? No, probably not. But it could be, but that's basically what it is. And I said it very much gave me caravan game vibes, which is very nostalgic for me, of like random games which family friends used to have and brought when we've gone like caravan holidays. And it'd be stuff like this, you know, stuff like there was like a sort of like I don't even know what you call it, like a leaflet, no, like a little book, I suppose, of like trivia quiz questions, except it was like a rope which you had to wrap around to see if you get the right answer or not. Stuff like that. Or like there's another, or like Mastermind, that sort of game. That's a sort of ilk, I thought, or a sort of category I put it in. So I think it was kind of nice. You can definitely play it by yourself as well. And yeah, I think the illustrations were pretty cool. I feel like it should be a game where like it's almost a waste of illustrations just like that. I feel like it's the sort of thing where like it should have 2 game modes, you know. You might as well use the cards to have like some sort of deception based, like social deception game, I feel like, in it as well, but maybe that doesn't make sense, I don't know. They had a vision, so who am I to try and change their vision? My friends also bought Flamecraft Duels. Now apparently Flamecraft is a very good game, which I've heard about, only vaguely, but never played. We didn't play Flamecraft Duels, but we did look inside and we're like, it looks kind of interesting. I can't remember if there's any other games which I was interested in buying or did buy. I don't think I did. I normally buy games for the aesthetic, but I also don't play board games all that often, to be honest. Like I play party games, so things like Codenames or One Night Ultimate Werewolf I bring along because they're like easy, simple things, but I don't often play board games. It's usually only with like this group or something I'll play board games. But most of the time I like collecting board games more for the visual aesthetic, I suppose, of them, or the concept of a game design, more so than anything else. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. What was my favourite game out of all of them? Aesthetically, it's got to be Casting Shadows. It's really cool. What's my favourite game to play? I'm not sure, actually. I think they're all reasonably equal. I think there's a certain level of nostalgia which I had to admit I did have for A Carnival Did It, where like playing it I was like, I feel like I'm like 8 years old again, and I'm like in a caravan with like 4 different families. No, like all of us gathered together in one caravan. We didn't live in one caravan, we had our separate caravans. We just gathered here and we're playing some random game again, and I was like, that's very, very nostalgic. But yeah, I think they're all pretty good. Flip 7 I think is always a good vibe as well. But yeah, that's kind of what I'll talk about. And now I'm gonna go eat dinner and get ready for D&D, I suppose. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. Then I'm Crossing New Horizons. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.